I say, oh, why does it feel so good to be back? Getting what I want, boy, why does that make you so mad? You see, oh, why does it feel so good to be back? 'Cause if the struggle that you're looking for, oh, baby, so good to be back. I say, oh, why does it feel so good to be back? Getting what I want, boy, why does that make you so mad? You see, oh, why does it feel so good to be back? 'Cause if the struggle that you're looking for, oh, baby, so good to be back.
All right, and we are live in the building, and let us get into it for August 25th, 7:22 p.m. You're tuned back into Degen Fantasy. Appreciate everybody showing up for the stream. It is going to be me today, Dolo, personally, for this stream, and we are going to be talking some fantasy football. With fantasy coming up around the corner, I know some teams and some leagues have drafted already. I know some people have not. Personally, myself, I have not had a draft yet. I have a draft next week and forming 2 leagues that'll come together pretty soon here. But wanted to react to some of what's been going on the social media space, talking about different ADPs for players, as well as answer any questions anybody has for whether they've drafted their own team or not. And yeah, we're going to get into it today here on Degen Fantasy. Guys, by the way, we are sponsored by SoBet, so you can join through the link in the description. If you'd like to also, so the fusing of this show is myself and co-host Double Down Dan. It is sports betting and fantasy football, and we got signed as content creators to a platform called SoBet to give out our sports bets picks because we hit at such a high clip. So this platform basically has, if you're ever looking for sports bets or sports picks, you can go on TikTok and hear everybody's opinion on who to take, what to bet on. And you're just getting random information from randoms that post highlights and go, fucking this person, Rasheed Rice, is going to score 3 touchdowns, put $500 on it, whatever the case may be. Here at Degen Fantasy, something like this is something that we're very used to. This is what we were giving out last season, and we're so ready for the football season. Picks like this was a 4-leg parlay. It was sponsored our parlay of the day, so we put all the picks together, and we're able to use it to create a parlay that we gave to you guys to give out. Let me grab my drink real quick. All right, cool. But yeah, guys, make sure you check us out on SoBet. Also, we are sponsored by W Energy. Use promo code DGENBETS at W.GG for 15% off your W Energy. So let's get into it for today. I got a bunch of clips. We're also on Spotify, guys, if you guys want to check it out. Bunch of fucking clips today. I'm going to go full screen for a second. Bunch of clips that I'm going to give my feedback on, and also going to kind of gauge what the fantasy market's looking like on social media. So let's get into it. Where do I want to start? Let's do this one.
These players will make or break your fantasy season, so make sure you're paying attention. I don't know how many years in a row I have to keep telling you this, but do not draft Chris Olave. His offense got no better. Derek Carr is still throwing him the football. He averaged less than 15 points per game last year. Why is he going in the second round? Draft Kyler Murray. I can't believe he is actually going as the QB9 right now. He has unbelievable rushing upside. He's in his prime at 27 years old, and they just drafted one of the best wide receiver prospects of all time in Marvin Harrison Jr. I wouldn't trust Keenan Allen this year. He's 32 years old, joining a crowded offense. He hasn't played a fully healthy season since 2021. Draft another wide receiver in his range so you don't have to deal with the headache of Keenan all season. You will win your league if you draft Isaiah Pacheco this year. Not only is he the clear best rusher on the Chiefs, but with Jerick McKinnon gone, he's also going to be used in the passing game. His upside is through the roof. I'm doing whatever I can to draft a tight end early so I don't have to take David Njoku. He averaged 17.8 points with Joe Flacco last year, but only 8.4 with Deshaun Watson. The Browns are still trusting Watson as their franchise quarterback, giving Njoku 0 upside.
All right, so this is a video that I really fuck with in general because for a couple reasons. Okay, so listen, hear me out. One of the main quarterbacks you should be targeting, especially if you don't get one of those top 4 between Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and either Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow, is Kyler Murray. Because not only have we seen Kyler Murray and we kind of have an idea of what he can do compared to a player like Jaden Daniels or Anthony Richardson. I feel like he has to prove his health to us, but Kyler Murray is a scrambling quarterback that has 2 phenomenal young options in Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. That being said, I really coincide with this pick. Kyler Murray is going to be somebody I'm looking for in drafts specifically. And if you compare him with Trey McBride, obviously that's a great pick. Number one thing I wanted to talk about from this list is every year, everyone's all over Chris Olave. And I don't know. I've never been a fan of Chris Olave in fantasy football. I've never been a fan of trading for him, even with wide receiver injuries in past years. It's an odd situation with Chris Olave. I would look at someone like Drake London over Chris Olave, and especially, I know he's rising in ADP since I started really talking about it, but Cooper fucking Kupp still being on the board when Chris Olave is on the board in most rounds. So Cooper Kupp's now kind of sinking into that late second round, was going usually like mid third, early fourth. if Cooper Kupp's on the board with Puka Nacua kind of banged up, and also in Los Angeles, exactly what they did with Coop last year, they keep the injuries down to a minimum. They keep it on the hush. They're like, he'll be fine. He's going to be ready for week 1. Specific things linger, like with Jahmyr Gibbs and that hamstring injury. That's something I'm keeping an eye on because I'm such a huge fan of Jahmyr Gibbs and watching him, let alone having him on my fantasy team. Hamstrings are usually injuries that linger. I know Puka's feeling a little bit better and obviously should be ready to go for week 1, I think. And especially with, the fuck is his name? Sean McVay is the coach of the Rams, I'm pretty sure. He's been saying a lot of good things about Coop and how our offense runs through Cooper Kupp. So if you're looking at a player like Coop, especially in the range of like Stephon Diggs, he doesn't have the target competition that Stephon Diggs has. That being said, Chris Olave, not a terrible pick if you want to take him, but I would kind of steer towards somebody with more upside because Chris Olave is 22? He's young, 22, 23, 24, somewhere in that range. Great player, no hate to him, but just not really the upside I'm really looking for. And then Isaiah Pacheco, he's one of the main backs that is on the same team that had huge scoring touchdown upside. Him, in my mind, David Montgomery, him, who else? Christian McCaffrey and Raheem Mostert and Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is now in Houston. We're going to see how that goes. And I think we'll get to Raheem Mostert later. I do love Devon Achane, and I understand, but we got to talk some Mostert a little bit. Let's check out another one.
There are 3 fantasy football players that are going an entire round ahead of where they should be. Number 1 is Derrick Henry. We all love the king, but right now he's going in the 2nd round as the 15th overall pick in fantasy football. You don't need to take a running back in the 2nd round just to do it. There's much better value in the wide receivers behind him like Devontae Adams and Nico Collins. Number 2 is Sam Laporta, who is also now going in the 2nd round when he should be going in the 4th. Laporta had a great rookie season last year, but he's getting drafted like he's Travis Kelce when he's not. To put it in perspective, as good as Laporta's rookie season was, it would have been Travis Kelce's 6th best season of his career. They are not the same, so stop drafting them like they are.
It was his first year.
Before I get to the last one, if you didn't hear, for NFL kickoff, Lamar Jackson's line is discounted to just half a yard on Underdog Fantasy. You get this line and up to $250 when you join with Code J. Don't miss out. Then finally, number 3 is Michael Pittman. Pittman is going in the 3rd round, which makes no sense. The Colts are a run-first offense, and Pittman isn't going to be that involved in the red zone. He's a good player, but he's going ahead of DK Metcalf, Devontae Smith, and DJ Moore, all of which have top 10 upside. Pittman has a nice floor, but a limited ceiling, and that is someone that is not worth spending a 3rd round pick on.
All right. So with this take, it's an odd stance of 3 different players. Okay, so he talks about Derrick Henry because of his age. He talks about Sam Laporta because Sam Laporta's rookie year did not compare well to Travis Kelce, apparently, who has a ton of more seasons under his fucking belt. So that's a little irritating. I'm not saying I'm all over Sam Laporta either, but like the same token, weird fucking take. Okay. And then who was the last one? It was, Michael Pittman Jr. Okay. He said players have more upside than Michael Pittman Jr. Okay. Let's ease that back a little bit. He brought up Devonta Smith. I love Devonta Smith. I had him in fantasy last year. He did great. Michael Pittman Jr. is the number 1 option on this Indianapolis Colts team that's going to run through Anthony Richardson, and we know he has the legs for it. But also, younger quarterback coming back from injuries might be a little more hesitant running the ball. I'm not saying he's not going to do it. Michael Pittman's a solid fucking receiver, and odd to me that the status of being a number 1 option on a team that's going to have to air the ball out quite a lot this season doesn't really match up to Devonta Smith, who has target competition with A.J. Brown and who's the tight end? It's fucking Dallas Goedert. And now we're bringing in Saquon, so the ball's going to be moving down the field a lot more. Weird fucking take. This is why I wanted to get into some of these videos. With Derrick Henry. All right, so one thing on SoBet, that's the platform we post our picks on. I placed a bet that we put out so a bunch of people can tail, and it was Derrick Henry to have over 9.5 touchdowns this season. Since we've placed this bet and put it out for people to tail through our platform, the line's moved maybe 3 or 4 points, so now he's projected to get over 12.5 touchdowns. I get he's older. He had to play in Tennessee with the Titans for years, and at a certain point, when you're playing on a losing squad, you start to lose that confidence, that oomph. Doesn't matter if you're 30 years old. He's going to play a role that is perfect for him with Keaton Mitchell behind him, who is Devon Achane, who's a young second-year player. Justice Hill, who's definitely going to be able to take some carries. But Derrick Henry in fucking play action with Lamar Jackson. You don't know if he's running it, throwing it, or handing it off to one of the biggest, strongest running backs of all time since Brandon Jacobs. And you think he's not going to produce on the goal line for a team that can trot down the fucking field, whether it's through Derrick Henry, through Lamar, even if you let Keaton Mitchell and Justice Hill run the ball down the field and you run the Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery scheme. Do not think teams aren't looking at the Detroit Lions and not only one having an all-star wide receiver, but two using Jared Goff and this running back tandem as an option to be able to utilize both these skill sets for each one of your running backs well. Jahmyr Gibbs, younger, faster. He's more of a quick twitch type player, can get downfield. David Montgomery brings big, strong, bully ball down at the fucking goal line, can also make some shit happen on 3rd and goal. Teams are looking at this and like, damn, we can utilize this scheme. So say if you let Justice Hill and Keaton Mitchell or Keaton Mitchell get the ball down the field and say you're on a 3rd down or an end zone or a red zone fucking drive, then you can bring in Derrick Henry. And also if something's not clicking on certain drives where you need to get Derrick Henry acclimated to the offense and get him in and get his reps in, then you can use him. I think his workload is going to be it's going to be utilized a lot smarter in Baltimore, and that's going to allow all that skill to shine. On top of the fact, if you are an athlete of any kind, I play hockey on a team, I'm a captain, doesn't matter, whatever the case may be. Confidence. If you have a confident player, if you are an athlete who's playing confident, it's incredible what you can do. And it doesn't have to just be confidence in your ability. It could be confidence as I'm on a good fucking team now. I have a shot at getting a ring. I think Derrick Henry, especially with how light the running back market is for fantasy football this season, how it's going, I don't think he's a bad pick. Breece Hall, Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry. Devon Achane, Raheem Mostert. I'm throwing Raheem Mostert in there out of respect. Who else, realistically, are you pivoting to? Like, realistically, who else are you pivoting to? I would like to hear in the comment section, because in my mind, you're kind of running out of good running backs after round 3. Ramondre Stevenson, James Conner, they're good running backs, but I don't know. People just have a weird way of talking themselves out of certain players, and then they go, oh, what happened? You got to be able to just have a little bit of faith in people sometimes. Let me see if I can get on X Pro Studio so we can get this up on Twitter. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys have any draft, pre-draft, post-draft questions on anything that has to do with your team, would love to see it in the comment section if you guys want to check it out. X Pro Studio, X Pro. Let's see if I can get this up. There we go. I think they changed it on me. Of course they did. All right, let's get into the next one here.
When you draft Tyreek Hill with an early first-round pick in a competitive fantasy league, this is exactly what the rest of your team should look like. In late round 2, running back options are scarce, so pair Hill with another top wide receiver. Nico Collins or Chris Olave are the ideal targets. Both have high ceilings as their team's clear alpha. By round 3, it's time to grab a top running back before your next long break. Kyren Williams and Isaiah Pacheco come with risks, but both will get the necessary volume for solid production. Since you're strong at wide receiver, round 4 is perfect for securing an elite tight end like Trey McBride, who led the league in targets per route run last season. But in round 5, grab your running back 2. James Cook is a great pick as a lead back on a productive offense who contributes in the passing game. But in round 6, you'll want to secure a high-end stack, so pairing Nico with Stroud is fine here, but if you're looking for running upside, Kyler used to fall into the 7th.
I don't know if Stroud's falling 6.
To stack your elite tight end around early. With this type of build, the 7th and 8th rounds are crucial, but first, get your free fantasy draft guide now. Check my profile to save time and help you draft smarter. But you'll need to start building out wide receiver depth, so this is where some young players with upside are perfect targets. Draft Rome Odunze, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Brian Thomas Jr., or Lad McConkey in that order.
All right, here's what I'm going to say on that. I don't think CJ Stroud's going 6, and I also am going to pause a little bit of my live stream so I can see the full list as it's paused. All right, so he's got Tyreek going in the first round. Obviously, if you land with that 1, 2, or 3 pick, you can obviously secure Tyreek Hill, Nico Collins, or Chris Olave in the second round to draft around Tyreek Hill. There are some fucking Nico Collins. I love Nico Collins. I had last year. I used him to make a trade into a better piece. Holds some fantasy value. What I'm saying about the second round is if you go wide receiver in round 1 and you do not go running back in round 2, you better be getting a caliber of player like Devontae Adams. You better be getting a caliber player like Nico Collins. You better be getting a caliber of player like a Puka Nacua Cooper Cup type player. It's quite the predicament this offseason. That's why I kind of wanted to jump on here and do a little bit more of a breakdown and answer any questions. Not big on James Cook this year. Huge on Trey McBride. Huge on Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams was shot out of a fucking cannon last season. Was literally fucking incredible. I couldn't say enough about Kyren Williams. It's going to be tough leaving round 3. I'm going to load up a mock draft as well for the stream. It's going to be tough leaving round 3. If you don't have one solid running back, obviously you can look at players like Saquon Barkley. I think is going to have a great year. Mock draft. Fantasy mock draft simulator. We'll go through Fantasy Pros. And I'm going to put this up so if anybody wants to join, you guys can join this mock draft. Let me see. Sync your league. Give me 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen. Fuck it. I'm going to do one dolo. Present. Share screen. Let me get into a mock draft real quick and we'll get into some more videos. I do think I got the 1-6 on here. Okay, cool. Give me a second. Come on, computer. Let's get with it. Okay, cool. Good to go. Let me see the draft board. All right. All right, so I'm on the clock already. Goddamn. My computer is tweaking. Thank you. McCaffrey, CD, Tyreek, Jefferson, Bijan. Ooh. Brees or Amon-Ra? I'm going running back for this mock draft in the first round. I want to see how I can actually play through this because I've only drafted wide receivers in the first round. All right. Brees, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Jahmyr Gibbs went at the 110. This is a 12-team draft, I'm realizing now, too. Saquon, A.J. Brown, Taylor, Nacua. It's obviously a computer, so I don't really... Some of these are going to be a little different. A lot of good wide receivers on the board here. I'm not drafting Chris Olave. Devontae Adams is injured, dealing with a minor injury. You'd like to get an all-star wide receiver. A wide receiver. Not going wide receiver first is hard. I'm not taking Debo as my first. Ayuk could... Sorry. Hate on me if you want. I'm going Cooper Cup. Not a bad fucking pick. Back at the 6. DK, Rashad White, Josh Allen, Drake London, Josh Jacobs. I'm doubling down a wide receiver for sure here. And I'm going to go... I could go Nico Collins. T. Higgins, George Pickens, Stephon Diggs. Honestly, I would love to have Diggs and Cup. But the target share is going to be crazy. I don't know. I think that's going to open up a lot for teams. You know, fuck it. Going Stephon Diggs. Don't give a fuck. Running it up. All right. Let's see here. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm throwing on some music too. Just throwing that Tory Lane's broke in a minute. All right, cool. Cup, Hall, Diggs. QBs are going off the board. I could take a QB right here. Oh, what the fuck? You're playing with me. All right, we're going again. My bad. Oh, okay, the Breeze went differently. Give me... All right. This is the chance to actually go through it. CeeDee Lamb on the board at 6. Taking it. Back at the 6. Going double wide receiver here if they're on the board. Oh, they're slipping crazy. Going Coop again. CD and Coop. Not a bad choice. Now I'm going running back. Alvin Kamara. That's a scoop. Should I go QB? Mahomes? Should I go tight end? I'm gonna go QB here. I'm gonna go Lamar. Fuck, I really want to McBride. And then we're gonna go tight end. See what's on the running back side. Mostert, Swift. I have to go running back here because it's so light this season that, like, obviously I kind of want to go Mark Andrews here, but I feel like I can find another tight end. We're going to go Raheem Mostert. People are sleeping on Raheem Mostert this year. All right, tight end. George Kittle's a scoop. George Kittle is a scoop. Jonathan Brooks in Carolina going pretty early. Go back to wideout, see what we're looking at. Rashee Rice, Terry McLaurin, Calvin Ridley, Keenan Allen. See, look at this. Gus Edwards. So by the time you hit round 7, you're kind of fucked. Running back wise. I'm going to go Rashee Rice. And then we're going to go back to QB. Let's take Dak. Always good to take Dak with the CD owner in the league. And then we're going to go running back maybe. Ty Chandler. Yikes. Nope, we're going wide receiver. Let's hit. I know people are all over Xavier Worthy. I'm going to go Rome Odunze. And then maybe double tight E. Tight ends. And Njoku. Brock Bowers. Run that. Run fucking that. Good trade value. Good injury support. Damn, I want to Khalil Shakir. Take my... I already got Dak. Oh my goodness. Running back is disgusting this year. That's terrible. I think you can only fill out with wide receivers. Tyler Lockett, Jacoby Myers, Gabe Davis. I'm gonna fuck with Adam Thielen. Had a good year last year. Let's fucking run that. Like 12 rounds in this draft now. Holy shit. I'm gonna end that here in a minute. Example of why you gotta go. I'm gonna go Jerry Jeudy. Why you gotta go very wide receiver heavy. All right, we're gonna get back into fuck this draft. All right, we're gonna get back into some clip reaction here. Let's do it.
After just the first 2 rounds of a fantasy draft, everyone has good players, but round 3 is where people already start to mess up. Here are the top 12 running backs and wide receivers to go after in the 3rd round. Number 12 is Alvin Kamara. He's going to continue to be a reception machine, but he doesn't make the list if you play in standard league settings. At number 11, we have Joe
Round
Mixon.
3, I went
RB1
Alvin
on what
Kamara.
might be a top 5 offense. Don't overthink it. The 10th best player in round 3 is Devontae Smith, who's been top 20 and top 10 for the last 2 seasons. He's got the perfect blend of a strong floor and high ceiling. After Smitty, number 9 is DK Metcalf. He is the wide receiver 1 on a bounce back offense and has not once in his career had a season with less than 6 touchdowns. Number 8 is Brandon Ayuk. He's risky with the trade rumors, but regardless of where he plays, his talent will make him fantasy relevant. After Ayuk, number 7 is Deebo Samuel, the best yak player out of the entire NFL, who was 6th in fantasy points per game in 2023. But at number 6, we have Josh Jacobs. If you need a running back that has just as much upside as the other RBs in rounds 1 and 2, Jacobs is your man. After Jacobs, number 5 is Jalen Waddle. He's finished top 10 before. I could do it again now that he's healthy. And then number 4 is Mike Evans, who I think has the strongest floor in all of fantasy football. After Evans, number 3 is Nico Collins. Last year, he was 3rd in fantasy points per snap and 8th in fantasy points per touch. Number 2 is Cooper Kupp. In 2021 and 2022, he was 1st in fantasy points per game. You can't draft scared because Kupp is going to be a beast this season. And then number 1 at the top of the list is Travis Kelce. I know I said this is a running back and wide receiver list, but I needed to put him here to make this point. If Kelce is available in the 3rd round and you are on the clock, he is the number 1 player to draft no matter.
All right. I think I'm in the consensus of I'm taking Cooper Kupp in the 2nd round as often as I can. With who's there, running back wise as well, I don't think it's a bad pick. And I think you got to go with him. Shorter stream today, guys. I think I'm going to wrap up here in a minute. Yeah, I was hoping to have a little bit more conversation in the comment section with some advice, but maybe later on in the year. So appreciate you guys. It's been Degen Fantasy. Follow us in the description on SoBet. And yeah, that'll do it.
I say, oh, why does it feel so